Well, good morning to you. It's 11:03 a.m. on Wednesday, so I'm having my chiropractic appointments on Wednesday with the massage and doing quite a bit better. Physically, I'm managing better, and it's all about management for me. It's not about having my symptoms go away or disappear. I'm doing as much as I can on a daily basis to manage my symptoms the best I can. Less aware of them I am, the better. So, we have a beautiful snowy day. Is that all washed out? What if I click on there? Does that help? Yeah, look at that. The snow's coming down. It's falling. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, so this is like the first good snowfall that we've had. It's not a lot of snow. It's just a few inches, but it's nice to see the snow coming down. And for the most part, this has been a very, very easy winter here. We've only had like some light dustings of snow a few times. Enough to make everything look pretty, which is good. Which is good. You know, when you get a light dusting of snow, like just an inch, and then it's really cold, so the snow stays on the ground. You get this beautiful covering for everything, because it can be very desolate without the snow sometimes. And I think, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to put my big old winter boots on, like they're negative 20-degree boots or something, like these big old Solomon boots. They're almost as big as snowboard boots. I'm going to take my hiking stick and I'm going to go out in the woods, making sure to take my cell phone in case I get in a little trouble out there. But I'm not going to go too far. But that sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. What's better than taking a walk out in fresh snow, huh? Especially at nighttime sometimes when it's all lit up. And oh, very good. I've had some nice nighttime snow walks. And I have to let myself have those brain farts because it's just what happens with my condition. So that's going to happen sometimes. So it's okay. Now, I plan, excuse me, to do 9 more videos in this series because I want to, it's somewhat mentally burdensome to do this for me. To have as little future stuff on my mind as possible is the best for my mental health, I guess. So the less future obligations I have, the better. The more I can just feel free in the moment to do what I want to, the better. Obviously, there's a lot to do, but the less the better. So anyhow, I'm going to make 9 more of these videos, and I'm going to try to cover whatever subject matter I think is most important. So I'll kind of make a mental note to get the most important things done in 9 videos. I've already done, I think, 40 videos in a batch, which, I don't know, maybe spanned about a year and a half. I took a big break between like 16 or 17 or something, video 16 and video 17. So there's a lot of content too there. I was less experienced, and those videos are longer than these, and they probably need some editing. Anyhow, let's get into some subject matter. First one I want to talk about is euthanasia. So perhaps it's occurred to you that it's now this is a common subject I've thought about, but it came up last night that my wife was talking about this woman who went into this building, her house was on fire, and she went in to save her kids. And I guess she said that somehow this woman got burnt. I'll keep talking. This woman got burnt such that her legs and arms were in a position, they're almost like this, they were stuck there. And she said the doctors couldn't do anything. I guess the legs were kind of crossed too. I guess she got so scorched by the fire that somehow it caused her body to contract or something. Horrible, absolutely horrible. But we have this, and another example, my wife worked with this woman recently. There's, way too many examples, unfortunately, of people that live in utter despair and who live without any reason to continue to be alive. But we keep people alive. But let me talk about that example. So she was doing this caregiving job recently, and she was working with this woman. I think she was about 90. And this woman, I guess her knee joint had fused or something like that. So she couldn't, flex her leg at the knee. And it was just going to the bathroom was a horrible experience. It took forever just to go to the bathroom. And I guess she had a cat and a dog, and cat and the dog were even both really depressed and old, and this woman is in her house all day, pretty much alone, except for, I guess she's with the caregiver quite often, but when they leave at night, then she's all by herself. And how many people are just utterly alone and in despair, and they can't move their bodies in ways that are really necessary in order to feel good. Now, my mom is going to be getting a hip replacement in a few weeks here. And she's been moving slower and slower. But as people get older and older, and as we live in such an unhealthy world, we're having more and more people get older, but they're not living a good quality life. Some of these nursing homes, I went to one to make music for the people a little while ago, a couple of years ago, and I walked down this hallway, and the smell was awful, and you just have these people in these wheelchairs in the hallway staring into space. You're not communicating with one another, and it's just terrible. Now, so the subject of euthanasia is not something that I'd like to actually explore too much. What I'd like to do is I'd like to use our energy to get people as healthy as possible so that nobody wants to commit suicide. But if it is the situation that someone's body is so dysfunctional and they are in so much pain that they have no quality life and they just want to die, who the hell are we to say you can't do that? We can't help you. Bullshit. We know how to help you. There are methods that are quite effective, and that's the death culture that says no, we have to keep you alive. It's a world of death, but we got to keep you alive as long as possible and make you suffer. That's the death culture. The life culture says, let's do what's best for you. Let's do what's best for you. Now, people a number of years ago, pretty much when they were unable to move around much anymore, they oftentimes made a more natural death. They die in their sleep. It was more natural. But now we're keeping people alive by artificial means, which you have to understand is intentional. This is all intentional. Everything you see here is intentional. Nothing is just by accident. Everything is intentional here. Like I talked about the schools being intentional. They intentionally keep you stupid. The healthcare system intentionally keeps you sick. Why? Because these beings feed off of all kinds of negative emotions. Something that it's hard for us to comprehend, but that's how they actually survive, is from us actually experiencing negative emotions. So they look at the planet as a whole, and they can tamper with things in one place. So if you build a school for little orphans in Kenya, they can easily start a war over in Tanzania, and all that work you did was good, but it got negatively balanced out by something else. And that's what's always going to happen here. Whatever work we're putting in can easily get counterbalanced by something bad. So you should have the attitude that if I'm working for something, it should have a permanent result. If I'm using all my energy, it should be for something that's going to last. Because if you're exhausted as I am a lot of the time, you're like, what the hell is the point of doing that and that and that and that and that? I've done that before and look where I am now. If I'm going to actually expend effort, it's got to be for something that is going to make less effort for me in the future. And not just me, but the planet as a whole. Because we got to understand, we're in this fully together. So all our vision that we use has got to consider everybody on the planet. So if I think what's better for me, it's got to be what's better for me is better for you. Otherwise, it ain't better for me. It might seem better for me in the moment, but it's not better for me. It's not better for me to have a big-ass boat. Unless, what? I can share it with you. Unless we can use the boat together. Unless I can make sure that boat is being used as much as possible. The hell point is there in it sitting in the driveway all day, right? If you have resources, use them. If you have a lawnmower, let your neighbors use it. I mean, how many damn lawnmowers do we need in one frickin' neighborhood? We should be sharing resources, duh. But, we got to remember upstream, downstream. So we can talk about euthanasia. I'm going to continue to talk about euthanasia and stuff in some other videos, but I'm going to stop for now.